Hello viewers, today let's talk about United States debt ceiling. At the time of writing, which is May 28, 2033, we probably are concluding the debacle of 2023 United States debt ceiling crisis. The question is, for me subjectively, is there any kind of usefulness to look at this crisis? I'm saying flat out, certainly no. If you are a trader or investor, you simply should ignore United States debt ceiling crisis as such. Maybe if you are a political commentator or very interested in United States politics, you might look at that and to see what kind of deals Republicans and Democrats are haggling between themselves to see what they are doing, but other than that, you simply are wasting time if you're believing that there is anything useful to be addressed when this debacle is shown on TV. Because why? Well, Republicans and Democrats are professional politicians. That's their career and that's their lives. And politics is show business in one way or another. So they know that they have stressful time and they have opportunity to sell their own ideas to public via debt ceiling angle, because they know that they have to increase debt ceiling on the terms which is more favorable for them. So the Republicans might say, no, we have to do something and something before we raise debt ceiling, otherwise we are destroying the United States. And Democrats are saying that if we don't do that, everything will fall into pieces. So they are making their own bets, they are making their own claims, which is beneficial for them, so they could sell them to their voters, and on it spins until deadline is reached. And when deadline is reached, they have probably some side deals made already that they would show in the last minutes before something happens, and by token of magic everything will be in order, because the fact itself that we would have some United States debt limit and the United States wouldn't be able to function properly because they would default on their treasuries, that won't happen. Like, no, that wouldn't happen, because I know it firsthand, because I remember very vividly United debt ceiling crisis of 2011. I actually was following it like almost live. I was like 20 at that time, and it was like one of the first times where I actually witnessed financial political events and looked how markets reacted to them. That was pretty cool. That was in summer of 2011, and I remember that was the first time when actually financial markets reacted to these events, because then there was rather decent fall in stock market and I was kicking to myself because I was not able to short the market. But that was one of the times when it actually kind of worked. But after that, no, this is useful. It was uselessness. And I think also that was one of the first times when we had that major debacle in public in the online environment, because before that they didn't had so that many debt crises as we speak. But it played out its part. We knew it one time when the United States government politicians, played show right up until the end, but it couldn't be played for a couple of other times. It simply was not that. So first time in 2011, it was quite interesting to watch it as a young man, and there actually was some impact on financial markets. But now in 2023, when almost 12 years has passed, it's nothing interesting, because they will rise debt ceiling and solve their issues. I knew it firsthand when I saw the headlines, so I completely ignored them. Question is whether financial markets are ignoring them. To see that, let's see largest financial markets and to see whether there will be some crisis reaction. Let's say crisis reaction, because if something is bad, something like gold has to fall sharply. And is gold falling sharply? Let's see. Nope, it's close at all-time highs and made some correction from 2000 to 950. I wouldn't call it collapsing gold market, certainly. Maybe this is simply volatility which is expected from commodity that sits at all-time high. Let's see, at S&P 500, it actually hasn't moved since February. It made correction, but then it moved back till in the early April, and it has stood stably for last couple of months. Let's see euro against dollar. Well, dollar actually has risen in its strength since late April, so there is a question if United States hits that ceiling. If it actually will hit that ceiling, United States dollar will rise or fall in its value. Is it risk asset or is it useless asset? In this case, well, I don't know. So, but if you wouldn't know that there is that ceiling, ask yourself whether moves in currency trends will be any kind of different from what you would expect from historical moves in United States dollar against euro or any other currency. I would say no. If you don't see what's happening, you would see that this is simply normal pattern in foreign exchange. And what happens in 10-year treasuries? Well, they are pretty much correlating with long-term moves in interest rates, because interest rates ran to 5% since like early 2022, and treasuries are kind of getting there. So they had to, if it's a risk off asset, they would have to rise sharply in their value. They haven't. If it's useless asset because the United States will be bankrupted, they simply have to go to like 50% because it will be worthless. But no, if you see now, you could take out the name debt ceiling crisis and you wouldn't see that there is any crisis at all. So what's my conclusion? Financial markets know that this is political show, so please don't play for that. Look at your long-term investments and your long-term strategies and make sure you are following them and don't see headlines, because it's beneficial for financial news media and politicians to raise headlines to get their attention. But those who know markets and markets themselves are market participants, to correct that. This is nothing, so ignore it, because markets are ignoring that, and focus on yourself. So stay tuned on my next videos. Follow me, subscribe me, and bye.